Hey, thanks for joining me today. Um, we're going to talk about shadow work and how you struggle or how we struggle to get to focus on what we're clearing out with shadow work. The First, let's understand what shadow work is. Shadow work is totally about you. It's about going inside and clearing out those cobwebs, those layers of issues that has been keeping you from being the best you can be. And of course, we don't know the best us that we can be because we've been going on for so long being what we thought we needed to be for other people. But in doing shadow work, it's a lot deeper and it goes a lot deeper than that surface level. We do have to get to the first level of clearing it out, but there's more to come. So let's get into it. The first thing that we want to talk about are the three sides. There's your side, the other's side, and then the truth. The strange thing with the sides is that they all, I mean, you think that the way you see things is the absolute truth. This person did this to you, they hurt you, they fumbled the ball, or whatever the case may be. And you know that in your heart, you were being a good person, a kind person, a loving person. So, so in your shadow work, your focus tends to be on what this other person may have done to you. And of course, in their side, they're looking at, well, you expect too much and blah 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 or what have you. And but that shouldn't concern you what their side is. It is of no concern to you in your shadow work. So the focus should always be yourself, me. Who am I in this whole situation? Which, of course, is the hardest thing in the world to do. Uh, I know it's the hardest thing in the world to do is to look at you, because as you're looking at you, you're looking at the situation and looking at how good you were, how what a wonderful person you were to uh, the job, this other person, the dog, I don't know, any situation, and that's normal for us as people, as humans, to look at our good side. The shadow work is the part that we don't like because we're looking at those sides that are not so comfortable, not so nice, not so kind, or not even that. Um, they just may be dysfunctional, unknown, not sure. You're not sure why you do what you do. And that's the shadow work, is the finding out the why. Finding out the why you, first of all, allowed yourself to be taken advantage of when you knew that this person, place, or thing did not have your best interest at heart. And how you know because of how you feel in that moment. But you tend to, or we, shall I say, because I'm totally included in this, we tend to brush it off as, well, that's just them. They have this quote unquote title in my life. So, I need to deal with it. And, this is how they are. And oh, well, and I need to stop being so sensitive. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on it all, because everybody knows what they're doing when they're doing it. The other individual understands why they may be mistreating you or harming you or what have you, or saying the things that they're saying, or ghosting, or breadcrumbing. Everybody has a clear idea of what they are doing. Now, the difficult part for most people is to understand why they're doing it and then to want to clear that part up within themselves so they no longer do that. Same thing with you doing your own personal shadow work. You want to go inside, you want to clear it up, and all you can think about is how good you were and how bad the other person was. And it and all the scenes just ruminate, and it's like, why does this have to be hard? So you isolate yourself, you step away, you no longer you ghost the people, and but you're still feeling some sort of way, maybe lonely, tired, frustrated, um, that nothing has changed. The person hasn't come back and apologized, or if they've come back with the same attitude, and you feel frustrated that you don't feel like you want to be bothered with that same BS again. So you're wondering if your shadow work is helping. You think you're looking at the issue. The issue is that you allow this individual to mistreat you, and immediately your mind goes to, it was the other person that mistreated me, and I'm going to stay away from that person. But the shadow work is all about you. And again, I go back to, why did you allow this to happen? And you allowed this to happen because of the reasons within yourself, is what you have to look at. And that's, again, unroping or peeling away that top layer. Why did I take, for example, I had this friend, and I knew that they were misusing and abusing my kindness as a weakness. I intuitively knew it, psychically knew what they were doing, why they were doing, even knew when they were doing things out of jealousy or um, insecurities, and they knew all of those things. But I sat there and I still allowed myself to be in the situation. And I allowed myself to be in the situation because of my own codependency, because of my fear of being alone, and who would understand me, at least this person understands me somewhat, or at least they appear to be. But that's neither here nor there. The biggest thing with the shadow work is that I had to look at me. I had to look at me and understand, how could I allow myself to be in this situation and sit here and take this when I knew in my heart that I deserved more. It's like, in your mind, you think that the kinder you are, the more loving you are, the more things that you do, this individual may see this and all of a sudden change their ways and say, hey, you have been really wonderful to me. I don't know why I didn't see it. I don't know why I treated you the way I did. And I apologize. Can you ever forgive me for that? It's not going to happen. It's not. So stop ruminating on that kind of stuff and waiting for that to happen. What the focus should be is on why you allowed yourself to be in that situation. And it may take some time, and it is very painful, because nobody wants to look at themselves as being gullible or being codependent or being needy or whatever the situation may be while you're in it. But it's about us and our pains and our hurts and our layered onion skin layers that we haven't peeled away to find out what the real hurt is or where the real pain is. So, in digging deeper, the first thing you have to do in order to really get to, um, let's say, dry land, because you're pretty much drowning in emotions at that point when you start looking at the issues. So once you jump into the deep end, and you're drowning with the frustrations and the pain and the hurt and the I don't believe this could have happened to me. I don't believe this person did to me. And I went to work every day and I was the star employee and they did that, da 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 da. We go through all of that. But at the end of the day, it's about how you see you. So if you see you as a basket case or something that's in need of repair or less than, other people will treat you that way. So they're just going off on the energy that you're putting out to them. It's like, okay, I'm going to give you, give you, give you, so you can hopefully give me, give me, give me. That's an imbalance. It's an imbalance within yourself because there is no reason why any individual should go to someone else and be in less than whole and expect someone else to fill that void. But that's what we do in most relationships. We act as if we're picking up clothes off the rack in the secondhand store. It looks pretty, it might fit, but then you get it home and you realize it doesn't look as good on you as it did in the store. Most secondhand stores, you can't take it back. It's yours now. So you either toss it away and lose the money, or you find some another use for it. Maybe you cut it apart and make another item out of it. I don't know. I sew, so that's why that came up. Um, but in digging deeper, there's so many levels, so many cracks and crevices to clear out that it can become very overwhelming. Um, it becomes so overwhelming to try to find a sweet spot, a place that you can focus on and clean that up and feel a little bit better about yourself. So the start is to look at the situation honestly. Look at the whole picture. Uh, do your ruminating, do your blaming, do all that. Get that out your system because it is going to come up. It's going to come up. And then after that's all said and done, you sit with yourself and say, okay, what was I looking for in this? What and sit with yourself and really dig deep to help understand what did you want out of that relationship, out of that job, out of whatever it may be. And mostly it's relationships that throw you in the um, dark night of the soul because the relationships come just to show you you. That adversity, that bump, that change, that friction, all of that comes just to show you you. That's it. No more than that. That other individual or other people or what have you, they're being who they are. They have their own shadow work to do. And their shadow work or their actions towards you usually has nothing to do with you. It's the same thing on both sides. It's their truth. Their truth that maybe you were too sensitive or you wanted this and you were needy and they didn't want to deal with all of that. And maybe that's how it appeared to them based upon their levels of understanding of who they are. And by the same token, you're looking at it maybe differently that, okay, we're partners and this should go this way. The way my understanding is, it should go this way and you should do this. And they're not there. So again, your truth, their truth, and then the truth. And what you're trying to get to is the truth. And the truth is hard to find. It's harder to find because our ego gets in the way and tells us that we're right and that we need to continue to uh, blame the other. But when you get to the truth, or you really want to find out the truth, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. The truth can be found, of course, in your higher self. You got to get yourself quiet. You got to get yourself quiet, because all the noise in your head is going to always direct issues away from you. It's going to always be the other. It's going to be always be your childhood or your circumstances or the lack of money or that. It's always going to be something that has nothing to do with you and your heart, your intentions, your goals. It has, and that's just the nature of humanity. Um, we want these people in our lives, but then we want them the way we want them because we need them to soothe the hurts and the pains that are within us. So, getting to the truth of what causes you to be overgiving, over compassionate, over kind, which the other person may see as needy and naggy and what have you. You have to understand what causes you to feel the way you feel. Again, those are the deeper parts of shadow work. When you realize that the blame game is not working, or the isolation isn't working, or uh, the talking to friends and families about the situation isn't working. It's time to get quiet and listen. That's it. Just get quiet and listen. And what you may hear is definitely things that you may not want to hear about yourself. Um, I had no idea I was as codependent as I was in a lot of my relationships. And the funny thing is that I went through my entire life self-evaluating, self um, analyzing, and very introspective. Never trying to put the blame on anybody else. Like, okay, yeah, I did this, I did that, but there's still a layer of where it comes from, where it started, that needs to be cleared before you can see clearly. I mean, you may see some daylight peeling off a few of the layers, but to actually see daylight, to see a clear view, and be able to make conscious decisions on what you want for you, it takes silence on the inside. Now, and give you a few tips here, because this is some of the things I did. Most of us, especially those of us who like to stay busy, it's very difficult to sit down and meditate because your mind is running 300 miles a minute. So I would suggest there are plenty of videos on YouTube, plenty of things for you to follow if that's a direction you want to go in. But there are simple things, everyday things that can get you in a meditative state so you can hear better, so you can clear out the cobwebs, so you can erase the shadows and have the sun come out. Um, One of the things that I like to do, I know most people don't do dishes. They throw them in the dishwasher right now, but I still wash dishes by hand. So one of the things that I like to do is as I'm washing dishes, to get in the now space, or the meditative space where I know what my voice sounds like as opposed to the monkey mind that's constantly going, is to quiet my mind by focusing on exactly what I'm doing. Almost to a minute detail where I have my hands in the suds and I'm looking at the suds and feeling the softness of them and watching how some of the bubbles are bigger than the others, and noticing that in my mind. I'm taking notice of these things as I'm washing dishes. So number one, my mind is off washing the dishes, which most people believe is a mundane chore. I kind of like it, again, for the meditative purposes. And and the other part is that you are productive. You're putting your energy on something else other than the issue at hand or the other individual, because where your mind goes, that's where your energy is. So you're giving all your energy over to the issue or to the person when this is the time that you need it most. This is the time that you need it most to self-soothe. So that's one of the, and I do those kind of things with every household chore, whether it's sweeping, making the bed, notice the things that you haven't noticed. I bet most of us have bedspreads and you have no idea the pattern that's on it, the intricacies, the different colors, or something to that effect. Or there are things about your dishes you never noticed. You just use them and you wash them and you put them away. But have you ever noticed the pattern, the detail, who made them, on the back of the plate or what have you? There are so many little things to notice to get you back and focus into yourself, into your own mind, into your own body, where you can quiet the monkey mind. I mean, it'll pop up. Your mind will immediately go back to the situation. Yeah, and that's so and so, and go back. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And you do it with simple things, simple everyday things, so you don't have to carve out a chunk of time that I don't have time to meditate. I can't think about meditating. I got kids here. I have to take the dog out. We have so many things that we have to do that there's no time for us to enjoy who we are or to even understand who we are, because we're so busy doing and why. But even that can be a meditation. Taking the dog out, you're walking, you're noticing how they circle and sniff certain things, and as they're sniffing the things, you can wonder why they're sniffing that particular thing, and wonder what that smell is like. Imagine it, different things to take your mind off the situation and get it back into your body. Understand that you can control your mind. That is the hardest part of any shadow work, is controlling your thoughts. And instead of allowing them to run rampant and take you to places that you don't want to be. So that's the main thing that I want to talk about. Is just that, is in order for us to get to the depths to get to the truth of why certain things happen, or what the reason for these things happen. What is the reason these things had to happen? Because there, first of all, there is somewhere in your heart that you said that you wanted to change. Somewhere in your heart, you said, you cried out to whoever you want to call it, whether it's God, the Most High, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's still the same thing. It's a power higher than your immediate consciousness. And it reads your heart. It understands what your heart truly wants. Not what your mind wants, not what your body wants, not what society says you think you should have, but it truly understands what your heart wants, and it reads your heart. And then when your heart is open enough to cry out and say, I need something different, this is not working for me, just at that moment, it's sent to you, whether it's a person, a situation, um, a movie, something is there to show you which way to go, to carry you step by step by step. I guarantee you, it carries you step by step if you could listen. But you got to get into the mode of listening first in order to even go through successfully the dark night of the soul. So practice on some of those things first. Practice on a daily habit of listening to yourself. I did tell you this one story. I was um I was a supervisor or manager at this casino, and I just got a new employee, college grad, um, and I'm in this mode of where I can groom this person. I see the talent, blah 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 blah. Perfect person for the job. Even and gave them their own office. And as they're in their own office, they started putting their certificates and diplomas and things of that sort on the wall, which is there's nothing wrong with that at all. You should be proud of your accomplishments. You should want to display, hey, I've put in this much work and I'm qualified to do this. But it triggered me. Why? It triggered me because I did not have a piece of paper. Now, I was in the position. I'd worked my way up to that position and felt good about what I was doing. I was doing excellent work enough to keep the marketing department running, but it triggered me. And before I could say anything, I didn't say anything. I commented on how good the office looked and things of that sort. So I could focus on why I was feeling what I was feeling. So in my mind, standing in the doorway of the office, I am constantly asking myself, why is this bothering me? Why is this bothering me? I mean, I kept asking myself that until I got an answer. And the answer was just that. I felt like an imposter because I didn't have a piece of paper. Now, mind you, everything that I needed to know for the job, I knew. But because normally the position I was in required a piece of paper and I didn't have it, the fact that this new person that I brought in, you know, had this piece of paper, all of my imposter syndromes and insecurities came to the surface at that moment. But because I was conscious enough to stop myself at the why. Why am I feeling this way? And not projecting it out on, oh, you don't need to put all those things on the wall, this, that, and the other. We know that you did that and that, blah, blah. And belittling somebody else. I asked myself the why. And when I finally got to the answer, it no longer bothered me because I could forgive myself for feeling the way I did. Because then at that point, I understood why I was feeling what I was feeling. And number two, I also understood that it had nothing to do with the other person. Those things came up and they triggered me because they were a part of me that needed to be cleared out. That's daily shadow work. And that is something that will help you clear out the cobwebs before you get to some major shadow work, because major shadow work always comes. But the little pieces of shadow work, the little things that you can do daily, will help assist the transformation. I am so happy that you guys are here and that you're listening to me. I appreciate you. Again, thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.